We begin with Nepal, where embattled Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli addressed the nation amidst growing speculation about whether or not he will be able to hang on to power. Oli, who is facing growing dissent in the Nepalese Communist Party, played down the political rift, saying that it's a regular phenomenon in a party and issues can be resolved through dialogue.
जुनसुकै राजनीतिक दलभित्र हुने बहस र विवाद आन्तरिक हुन्, त्यसलाई निष्कर्षमा पुर्याउने दायित्व सम्बन्धित राजनीतिक दल र नेताहरूकै हो। पार्टीभित्र हुने यस्ता छलफल, बहस र विमतिहरू तिनका नितान्त आन्तरिक र कतिपय अवस्थामा नियमित प्रक्रिया पनि हुन्। यस्ता विषयहरू सम्बन्धित दल र तिनका नेताहरूले आपसी छलफलबाटै सुल्झाउनेछन्। म आश्वस्त पार्न चाहन्छु, आम नेपालीहरूबीच आपसी एकता बढाउन, संघीय लोकतान्त्रिक गणतन्त्रको रक्षा गर्न, राष्ट्रिय स्वाभिमान माथि उठाउन, देशको सार्वभौमसत्ता र भौगोलिक अखण्डता अक्षुण्ण राख्न मेरो तर्फबाट दृढ अडान र हदैसम्मको प्रयास जारी रहनेछ।
Nepal's Prime Minister Oli also used the occasion to use the nationalist plank to secure his chair, saying that he is committed to safeguarding the territorial integrity of the country. Oli, who has been indulging in anti-India rhetoric, counting on China's backing as a massive political challenge on his hands, which despite his best efforts cannot be masked by a shrill hyper-nationalistic pitch. The Communist Party meeting scheduled to be held earlier yesterday was deferred for a fourth time. The meeting to decide Oli's political fate will now take place on the 17th of July. Based on the issue of power sharing, the tussle between Prime Minister Oli and former Prime Minister Prachanda has led to political instability in Nepal. The future of the embattled Prime Minister now depends on the support he can gather from smaller parties. KP Sharma Oli and Prachanda are both co-chairs of the Nepalese Communist Party. Both of them have failed to break the deadlock. Oli insists that he would like to retain both his party post and the post of Prime Minister. On the other hand, the Prachanda faction is backed by senior leaders and former Prime Ministers Madhav Kumar, Nepal and Jhalanath Khanal. They are demanding Oli's resignation, saying his recent anti-India remarks were neither politically correct nor diplomatically appropriate. Sources tell WION World is One that KP Sharma Oli is determined to retain both posts and even willing to split the party in order to retain his control over both the offices. And now being joined by Yubaraj Ghimire, editor, Desh Sanchar Online, live from Kathmandu. Thank you so much for being with us here on the broadcast on WION World is One. Talk to us about the situation in Nepal in terms of its politics at this point in time. The Nepalese Communist Party meeting has been postponed or deferred 4 times, and now it looks like KP Sharma Oli will need the support of smaller parties to retain his power as Prime Minister.
Well, there's a state of ceasefire at the moment because the standing committee meeting where all these issues were being raised has been deferred by a week. It's going to meet on the 17th of July. That is on the persuasion of a group of 11 second-rank leadership who said they would they would like to give peace a chance. So both Prachanda and Prime Minister KP Oli agreed to give them time. So at the moment, nothing has been moving. But the question of smaller parties having to support Oli government will come only if the party splits. Yes, both Prachanda and the dissident groups on one side and Prime Minister on the other reside on their demand. Well, one side says that Oli must resign from both posts, and Oli is adamant against it.
Right, and you're talking about Prachanda, who's the main, competitor to KP Sharma Oli in the scheme of things at this point in time. What are the chances that Prachanda will become the Prime Minister of Nepal?
Well, very difficult to predict at the moment because going by the current, number game, it looks like that Oli has majority in the NCP, Nepal Communist Party Parliamentary Party, and that is one. To the extent of opposing Prachanda, to the extent of opposing Mr. Oli, Prachanda and former Prime Ministers are on one side. But if tomorrow a situation comes, although I don't think it's going to come very soon, if the situation comes in which the Prime Minister has to step down, there may be a problem about the successor. And third, an extreme possibility is about the split in the party, which opens other possibilities of other political parties, including the opposition parties, having to play a role, because that may, transform the house into a hung one again. But I see at the moment there would be some kind of patch-up, but we really don't know what kind of patch-up it would be. But that would be a temporary one, because the unity in the Nepal Communist Party is visibly an artificial one.
Right, and in the middle of all of this, we've seen the Prime Minister go on an anti-India rhetoric spree from one decision to another, from one issue to another, especially with the new map being approved in the Nepal Parliament. And that's what exactly is being criticized for this anti-India stand, which his critics say is politically incorrect and inappropriate even.
Well, no Nepali leader, even the dissidents or the main opposition, has said what the Prime Minister did on the map issue is incorrect. In fact, it was a unanimous decision in Parliament, rare occasion in which the opposition and dissidents and every member backed the Prime Minister in the official resolution. So what they have reservation about is Prime Minister Oli's certain comments against Parliament, against India during the course of debate, but there is no true opinion in the map being published, including those territories in Nepali map.
Right, and one last question before we let you go. We're talking about this at a time when there is so much talk of Chinese interference in Nepal, which is not agreed upon by the entire political spectrum. How do you view that vis-a-vis what's been happening with India?
Well, Chinese ambassador's visibility is high at the moment. She's been meeting Prime Minister, President and dissident leaders, but it has got a long history that is in retaliation. I mean, that came as a retaliation to India's blatant interference in Nepal's politics in the alliance with the European and American that provoked China to come in a big way. Now China has overtaken all the three.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Yuvraj Ghimire, editor, Desh Sanchar Online, joining us live from Kathmandu with that perspective. Thank you so much for being with us here on the broadcast on Beyond World is One.